And the question is, who exactly will be running away with the lion's share of the points today to get that 10 points?
Again, 6 has been ousted, 12 is left here in EWC 2025. First match is about to go in Bermuda for Point Rush stage, and 2 teams are in our eyes. Currently, it is RRQ and also EVOS. They're looking quite good here, coming towards their 4th day at EWC. While has finished its pathways from Bullseye up until Sentosa, every team has managed to actually drop to their respective places. But it looks like we might see some tussle and bustle between Dragons and also Pain Gaming right around Mill.
I think... Yeah, you hear the sound of the shooting already. I was gonna say, we are actually hitting the ground running here, as Remind will be the first one to be knocked out. And I think Pain is very, very aware of how they wanted to start this match. It's very aggressive, it's very fast. As soon as they dropped down, they saw 2 members of DRG, and immediately these long-range pickoffs were lethal. The rest of DRG were trying to cross away, but we're gonna move our attention to the members of Falcons for the time being.
Yeah, Falcons managed to actually collect quite an early airdrop near Graveyard. Back on Mill. Yasir could not deter himself from Peter. This is Peter from Pain Gaming, yeah? Do remember, we have 2 Peters. One is in Falcon, while another one is in Pain Gaming. So with that said, 2 elimination points has been picked up by Pain Gaming in our early stages of Bermuda. Sadly, Dragons is having a very rough start right here. They wanted to drop on Mill, which is one of their drop points here, but every time they choose that drop spot, definitely there will be another team. During the group stages, whenever Dragons and Red Hawks meet, every Bermuda map, they're gonna meet in Mill, and usually we see Dragons and Red Hawk fight off each other. Meanwhile, Vitality has made a move towards Bima Sakti Strip. Still safe, still fine. There was no disturbance in the force for Vitality. With that, I think Vitality will just collect their resources, or maybe Divine just reach towards Nurak down.
More quiet. I mean, if you ask me, the first 2 days we saw a lot more aggression come through from teams like Bermuda, like EVOS. But today is a little bit more different. Just pickoffs now and then, not full-on commits, if you ask me. And I think if anything, DRG could do a very incredible thing if they've managed to recover themselves. Rough start doesn't mean a rough game, if anything. But RRQ here. Sorry, excuse me. It's EVOS going a bit more aggressive. Fighting the members of Pain, giving them a taste of their own medicine on what exactly they dished out onto DRG. Nora feeling the heat, knocked down already as Cold Shield just pressures him. Blue wall, it gets melted. As Noda will be quickly dealt with, but the rest of the team still very much intact.
Yeah, deja vu have happened towards Pain Gaming. They have lost 2 members towards EVOS Divine. They managed to actually fall back. I believe they went back to Plantation. But we just have to see what will be the pathway for Pain Gaming. And I was right, they went to Plantation, they got that jump pad, and they run and retreat all the way to Shipyard. Meanwhile, Rainbow 7 is in peak. I'm not so sure whether or not Buriram was in peak previously, as I was eyeing myself onto a Mill when they were dropping. Yep, Buriram was in peak, spotted by Rainbow 7.
Dangerous.
Shots being hailed towards the Thailand team, but they managed to find space. But no, except for Wasara and as well as Get High. 2 members of Buriram United has been taken by Rainbow 7. And right now, they are on 3 points. It looks like the Thailand Killers are at it again.
Oh, R7's doing phenomenal. Games King on that high ground took full advantage of that jump. And I understand that BRU did not want to hang around peak area. There's just too many teams that they don't want to lose members too early. They don't want to take these early fights here. But as R7 were the hunters, now they are the hunted, as Vitality would also like to join in the fray. Koja already finding his first mark, and they rush forward here. Kyong, a lot of space taken already, the nade to start off that fight, and he's going to reposition himself to a nice off angle here. Finds nothing quite yet. R7, I have to say, they're slippery and they're hella fast, moving away from Vitality, not allowing them to take this fight.
The decision to get back Games King and then using the midi jump pad to actually go towards the mana near by Peak here, provided a great escape for Team Rainbow 7. Vitality missed the opportunity to try and wipe out that Latin American team. Meanwhile, Joanna and together with members of Buriram are currently in male. I believe they managed to get back at least one member. Yep. It was Get High that was revived first before Wasana. And a member from Dragon has to just sit tight and hide, stay quietly in male as well. Meanwhile on Peak, Vitality is still around, but this time Lost paid a visit. Shots towards Kyong and also Dix. Azrael managed to actually escape himself away from Nando. So Vitality escapes, Lost missed again the opportunity to fight another squad.
I'm gonna be real here. Humine is having a terrible game. I think he's been knocked like, I think once or twice already, and every time he's in the middle of rotation trying to get away, there's always someone who's marking his location. And in that particular team, I think Humine is the most experienced player, and I have to say that him getting knocked out fairly early as well does put a bit of a back, just really sets the team a bit more back in terms of firepower as well. So you want to keep your mind a bit more alive, a little bit more longer. I think for them right now, just positioning is a little bit more out in the open. They're not being able to take advantage of their positioning at all. And a lot of teams are understanding this and abusing the heck out of them. DRG, this might be a bad start, but I would really like to see some recovery from them.
Yep. However, due to the fact that we have the revive system, so DRG could just revive their team members again and again and again. As you can see from the map on the right side, near Cape Town, Seafox and Remind is back into Bermuda. We are still yet to find our first team to be eliminated on match number 1 here, and Circle number 1 has just completed its rotation. It's gonna be a Riverside, part of Peak, as well as Mill, as the new area for the players to be safe in. And as usual, Chinook, meanwhile, AGAL has been quiet for quite a while. They are currently in Karaton. In contrast, Rainbow 7, together with RRQ, have been moving constantly within Bermuda.
That's how RQ was able to, to get such a huge landslide amount of eliminations, if you ask me. Haven't been able to do so quite yet. Here's a replay, though, for Falcons. Nice shot. Waited for that nice particular moment to find no doubts. Ugh, nasty. Now, coming back to RQ here, I think a lot of teams did cross by southern side toward Peak as well. I think we saw 3-4 teams at one point, and everyone seems to have left the area, especially since Lost is around. But now, since the majority of the middle side of the circle is starting to get very convoluted, teams like RQ, R7, EBOS, Divine, Falcons, even BRU is there, it could be a bloodbath. Meanwhile, for DRG, they were a little bit more scattered on the southern side, but now slowly finding their way into that circle.
All right, let's have Vitality met with AGAL for a brief moment here. Pushing AL away from Keraton. They have lost Dio in the same process as well, but they still have time to revive Dio back into the game. I believe either Chinoy or Terna has the sufficient amount of coins to get their sniper back. Unless they want to go for the free route, which is an option, because currently the teams are very far with each other, very far from AGAL. They could go for the respawn platform, but it looks like they opt to go for the vehicle rush into their new zone. Meanwhile, R7 giving some signals towards RRQ saying that, hey, we know you are in there, please come out.
R7's just waiting, a bit more of a passive approach, hoping that whether or not, RQ would push toward them. Granted, they do have a bit more cover. They can play CQC, crossfire, make a meat grinder like we saw the last few days. But R7, they're not eating the bait at all. Hoping to see, just whether or not who decides to leave the compound first, who decides to show their hands first as well, will be the ones to be in trouble. And I have to say, even if you want to get a bit more aggressive, you also have to be super aware that Falcons and EVOS Divine is close by. You have Buriram United as well. And, now already inside of the circle, only a few teams are still outside. AGAL, Pain still taking the slower rotation over, and Lost just hugging the side of that circle, could potentially run into Pain. And because they are at the end of that circle as well, they could potentially pressure Pain into a more desperate situation.
On the side of this hill, however, Buriram has just managed to get there earlier before Core Memory. So Core Memory could not get a good vantage point since that there is an enemy team right above them. So they opt to go to be at the bottom of this hill, at the bottom of Mountain Mill, and just maybe try to avoid clear angles from Buriram on top. As for the other teams, Buriram can just glance over towards the bottom side of Mill to see whether or not if there's any rotation from any enemy team. But it looks like, judging from the kill feed, it's Rainbow 7 and RRQ slowly at it here. I'm not so sure who's rushing in. I think it's RRQ that rushed in. They have lost Abai. They are together with Kiba. Kiba gets some few nice shots off towards Dela, but sadly Kiba could not finish him off. It looks like RRQ is hesitantly trying to go inside the compound of Rainbow 7. They are slowly falling back. Kiba went down. That is not a good sign for the Indonesian Kings, as R7 eliminated 2 members of RRQ. They have to fall back and reset. It's only Dudes and Mala left. Rainbow 7, they can't have that option to go simply tear off RRQ from Bermuda, but it looks like they have patience, they have discipline. This time around, they just want to be...
In the Indonesian style play of barbar or aggressive is something that I think R7 had predicted in this situation, which is why they didn't feel the need to commit. And they just let RRQ push toward them, and they had already set up that meat grinder that we talked about previously. And now this fight is getting a bit more spicy here. DRG on the back foot, on the lower ground here. It's hard to move. C4 was taking a lot of damage already, and Nasser's knocked down. Cannot be saved. Remai, low as heck, tries to cross by, but this high angle that BRU has is not making those blue walls even effective for them, because their heads are getting popped so easily. But DRG is changing trajectory, tries to push forward as well. But BRU very much ready. DRG fell in a very dangerous, desperate predicament. And now BRU changes their attention onto Fluxo, who are also in the same predicament. The first team out, DRG, Fluxo, might be facing the same end, but they are going to try and change this ending. Rushing up forward, up onto the high ground here. They rush forward, makes it slower, closer and closer. But the jump shots are great. They rush forward, they shoot, but Vitality decides to put their hands in the cookie jar, and Buriram United were not expecting this outcome. But Vitality as well are going to fall, and Buriram United are slowly able to come out on top. Fluxo is now here as well. Putin alone. Bushi knocked down. Wasana all alone. Rushes forward. He tries to make it work. He cleans up house. And Buriram United, through the chaos, prevails with the 7.
Royal Rumble at Mill. We have seen Vitality and Fluxo ousted out by Buriram. Apparently it was Divine as well out of nowhere. Core Memory managed to actually steal a few kills in the same process. AGAL as well is no more on 8th place. We still are on a sort of like a stalemate between R7 and also RRQ. Both Latam and Indonesian team is yet to go in.
Regardless, Core Memory trying to get into that circle. They have a bit more space compared to the rest of the teams here. It's about to get hectic in the middle side. They have the access to that airdrop as well. But R7 doing a great job of gatekeeping Pain out of that circle. And the rest of the team just drop like flies. And now Core Memory is in trouble as RRQ cases upon them.
RRQ, they have to control Rainbow 7 and at the same time controlling Core Memory. Core Memory has a monster truck that can be used to travel. Dudes managed to throw a grenade. Dawn is on the ground. Jump, trying to find space to get to Dawn, but Jump went down as well. Cougar and Zen trying to go inside the zone as far as they go, but Cougar exploded by Dude's grenade. Zen goes down as well with Miles AWM. Core Memory eliminated on the 4th place. Now we 5th place, I'm sorry. We are now left with 4 members. M-Lost finally making their appearance, trying to attack Rainbow 7.
And it's getting really spicy right now as Falcons completely demolish the rest of RQ here. They're gone. Eliminated 3 teams left. R7 juking their way away from loss. We're putting everything in the kitchen sink to take away this space. Falcons gatekeeping, keeping the teams at bay. Nando 9 explodes as Keroro's nade actually lands onto him as well. But Keroro, he's not done. Nando 9, round 7, also the next one to fall as well. As Falcons collect 4 to their name, and they're not done. Rushing forward. R7 also now in trouble. Their positions are good, looking to overcome. Della as well, trying and struggling, and he cannot find anything. His teammate is close, but separated from one another. And Falcons are just completely overcoming them, swarming them like flies. And R7 is now out.
R7 dropped out on third place, is now left Falcon and lost. Thailand versus Brazil. Rigby and Jonathan all is left for loss. Rigby trying his best to get some shots on towards Team Falcon. Peter on the fence. Went down to General, but Rigby goes down as well. It's all up to General right now. But General goes down. Kiroro is better. And there you go. Point rush, game number 1. Booyah belongs to Falcons.
Amazing, amazing stuff. A bit more quiet in the beginning as many of these teams are a little bit more safe when it comes to rotations and play. But that ending was bonkers, if you ask me. It was just chaotic. It was a bloodbath of so many different teams just fighting for that booyah. Everyone brought their A-game forward, if you ask me. It's just that Falcons were a little bit faster to the middle side of the circle and did a great job of making sure that everyone is kept out and they were forced to fight off each other. And Falcons, all they had to do, well, just clean house.
Yep, another booyah, another day here for Team Falcons.